How's it going? This is Dave from SoftSinStudios. Today we're going to be looking at the pose editor. I'm going to give you a quick crash course on how to use it. It's a really simple program, but it's super effective. From the home page, click on the pose editor, and you're going to be brought to this screen right here. We'll go over the UI real quick. So you have the home, which will bring you back to the home page, and then you have a JSON editor and ComfyUI nodes. We'll get into these in another video. You can browse and import a PNG to kind of base your pose off of. It doesn't auto-detect pose, but it'll be there so you can overlay your pose on top of it. You can also choose between one of the several blank templates that I have, depending on what you're looking for. You can reset the canvas, export as a PNG, or you can export the pose as a JSON. Quick note on the PNG export. When you export a PNG, or a pose, and then you re-import that same image back in to this editor, you'll be able to continue editing where you left off. Okay, I'll show you that here in a minute. Over here on the right-hand side, you have remove all bones. This essentially clears all the bones on the image, but it doesn't reset the canvas, right? You can clear selected bones. So if you have a bone over here on the right-hand side, if it's highlighted in blue, it's selected, and you can clear that bone. You can also show and hide bones. As far as the joints go, you have all the typical bones or joints that you would expect to find on a body 25 system. There's one thing of note. I do have a mid hip, right hip, and left hip. You don't need all three. You can use all three, but you can either use right hip, left hip, or you can use mid hip. It's up to you. Then I have all the hands, both hands, all the joints on the hands. And then over here on the right-hand side, I have a depth of Z order, so I can bring things or put things in the background, mid, field, or I can bring them to the foreground. You can also dim all the back layers, so you can actually visually see the stacking on the order. You can color the joints so it matches the bone it's connected to. And then you can change the bone thickness and the joint thickness depending on what you're working on. Like hands, it might be more beneficial if you brought the bone thickness down so you can better place the hand bones. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you the import of a PNG. And then just drag some joints top of like the nose and shoulders real quick. All right, with this selected, actually, let me put some eyes on there and some ears. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that you could change joint colors. You can color the joints to match the bones. So you just select that, and it colors them. You can change the bone thickness depending on what you're working on. Like if it's a portrait like this, you don't need super thin bones, so you can bring those up. And same with the joints, you can change the thickness in those. And then you just, when you're happy with what you got, then you just export it. Let's see your changes because it will be pose 1. And then clear the canvas or reset the canvas, and then bring your pose back in, and then you can continue editing it and then just save it again. This is useful if you just have to do micro adjustments, or if you're creating like a stop motion type of feel with the pose. You can do that as well, and you can do micro adjustments to kind of get whatever you want. Then you stitch the images together in your whatever image editor that you want to use, or whatever video suite that you have to create the motion. Okay, and then creating from one of the templates is easy. You just select the template, and it's the same process. You lay down your joints and then export it to whatever you want, name whatever you want, export it, and then re-import it to continue editing. That is the program in a real quick nutshell. All right, thanks for watching.